Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends. Welcome to 2022 ABF Online Talk. It's always great to see everybody here every Friday. Today is a special day. Today is Dragon Ball Festival in Chinese culture. We eat zongs, rice dumpling on the Dragon Ball Festival. I hope you have tried zongs before. Have you heard it? Because college looks
No. No.
confused. So well, it's okay. If you haven't tried before, just come to Taiwan. Because it's easy to buy songs everywhere now in Taiwan. So no, not a problem. Right. Okay. So now I want to invite Tingai to share his experience with us because she has been to I don't know how many times.
Oh, twice. I guess both of us, I mean, the three of us,
Okay.
Anna, Mikeli, and I have been there twice for
Huh,
the oh, yeah, for the Japan Bird Fair.
okay.
And well, it was kind of like a last minute thing. So this is what I've put together. And I remember that um, every time, I mean, every time I'm requested to do something like a PowerPoint presentation in Japan, it should only be like 10 to 15 slides. So I tried to compress everything in 10 slides. So I'm the surprise. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hello, Asia. Hello, world. So this is my experiences when I went to the when I went to the Japan Bird Festival. So as you can see, as an overview, this is what happens when they have their bird festival. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
The next slide, please. Okay.
Okay, so
You.
this is the overview. This is the location of the festival. It's at Lake Teganuma. Um, and what you see as the building is what they call the aquatic center, and it's like a water museum where it's a repository of what goes on during the purification process of water, the biodiversity of the lake, etc., etc. And then, of course, you have the lake itself, which is a very good bird watching site. And if you do a walk around the lake, it will take you like 15 kilometers, which I gladly did not do. I just um, everybody knows I'm a very I'm just a dude birder, so I just stood there and saw some of my lifers from Japan from the very first day I arrived in Abiko. So next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Oh, next, yes.
Okay, so this is the bird watching. They have like bird watching deck, and you can bring your scopes. No, it's specifically aimed for birders, which of course excites us, the target audience. So and it's very informative, especially for first timers. They have all these signs that directs you where to find. Like I think this is the cormorant. My Japanese is a bit rusty. And on the pictures, oh, I took these pictures. I'm so proud of them because I'm not really a bird photographer, and I'm just using like we're just like a couple of feet away from me. So the one on top is the spot-billed duck, which at that time was a sensation in Candaba in Pampanga, but unfortunately, I was not able to see it in 2015. But the moment we went to make an ocular of where we were supposed to put up the tent, lo and behold, there were the spot-billed ducks. And it excites you to see like the Eurasian coot. I'm very yeah, correct. If I'm It's the Eurasian coot. It's related to the common moorhen. And seeing it for the first time, you go like, you go like this. And of course, the swans were like literally at arm's length. You don't even have to jump into the lake to see them. They were just like right beside me by the canals close to the and as a child, I only my only encounter with swans were like from storybooks, and I am a fan of Swan Lake. And when you see a real swan, you really go like, "Wow, it's amazing! It's a swan." So there were my lifers. There were instantly like 10 lifers the moment I arrived in Abiko in 2015. So those were some of the experiences I had during the first festival in Japan that I attended. By the way, it was only I think in 2015 that they started to invite foreign delegations, and well, Taiwan was there already because they were already arranging bird tours, no, to Taiwan from Japan, and I think Mongolia. Was it Mongolia? I think it was Mongolia. And of course, when you are one of the first, you get really excited. So these were the unexplicable feelings that you have. You are so happy, and that you're so nervous. That you have to be in your best behavior. So next slide, please. Okay, so this is the Yamashina Institute of Ornithology. Um, Asuka-san brought us there the moment we arrived from Narita. And of course, we were also toured around the Museum of Birds, and it was amazing. Like there were several floors dedicated to the anatomy, to interactive, was it interactive description of birds that they have not only in Japan but also worldwide. I think this is where Prince Yamashina he had the preserved birds right there in the museum. So you have cranes and like cuckoos that were already stuffed, no? In their preserved state. Next slide, please. Okay, so for me, my first impression of the Japan Bird Festival was that it was very family centered. No, families were there to of course see the exhibits of the various birds found in the different prefectures in Japan. Of course, it was like when you go to the optics exhibit, you can practically see all the brands that you only hear of, and you're free to really try them. And very surprising that the Japanese really patronize their own brands. So I remember that here in the Philippines, like when we see a Swarovski, we go like, ah, or in Taiwan, I go like, oh, it's a size. But in Japan, those brands, they really go and see what is the latest. And there are ongoing concerts. Like, remember, Mikeli, we were even dancing for the
Yeah.
60. Yeah, we were dancing. So I said, I wasn't prepared for this, but of course, as a good guest, we danced. Well, it was fun, no? And at the start, they really rehearsed. Like, we were when we were setting up the booths, they were rehearsing, so they can perform well before the crowd. And if you see the gentleman on the bottom, on my bottom left, he is the bird ambassador, and his name is Masato Nagai, and he's called Tori Kun. So
He's
he
the one
is the
in red, huh?
birdman. Yeah, he's the one
Not
in
the one
red.
in yellow.
No, yeah, not the one in yellow. And they were dancing there, they were singing. So I think the last one I remember, Christine was the last one of our members. Um, Asuka-san, or even Tori-kun or Nagai-san was asking me if they could sing. Unfortunately, among the millions of Filipinos who can sing and dance, Christine couldn't. So they said she begged off. She said that, oh, they have to bear with the delegate, the lone Filipino who cannot sing and dance. So maybe if it were Mikeli and I, we would have put up an act there and sang and we danced to the entertainment of the crowd. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so this is what happens. I have to take a photo of the food that they give the delegates. It's so nicely presented. um it's so it's so reflective of their culture. Like, it's so arranged. And then one thing also that amazed me was when it's time to throw your trash, everything was so specific. Like, if you had a water bottle, even the label goes to a different container. The cap goes to a different container, and the main um, pet bottle goes to another container. So there were so many containers there. They were that specific when it comes to what's this segregating garbage. And of course, as you can see, oh, Mikeli had to try the coffee. We had to try the coffee. It was very good. And on the bottom left is this is Mrs.
Taniguchi.
Taniguchi, yes, and Ritsuko-san. She was they have merchandise, and their merchandise was what, jaw dropping. If you wanted to shop, you can, for bird items, anything bird themed, it's the place to go. And then they also have a section where they had produce from various prefectures, like oranges and um, specific to the place. And of course, it's also there that you can try the local food. They have like well, when it comes to me, I always go for the food also. So it's where you can buy snacks and Japanese snacks and this and that. That will last you for the day, aside from the food that was provided for the festival. Next slide, please.
Wait, can I add? Can I add?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so these are the fun bits of the JBF. These are also like my favorite parts.
Yeah.
Our lunches that are brought to all the delegates. You can see it on the top left. I think if I'm not mistaken, Ota, one of the
Yes,
other
yes. Yeah.
lovely people that
Otasan, yeah.
handle the delegates,
Yeah.
she mentioned that this particular bento is very special. It's particular to the area. And
Oh,
I think the company that's been doing it has been around for decades, like almost 100 years.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was talking about everything, all the details, like from the contents of the box to the way that it's done to the
Yes.
ingredients to the chopsticks. Even the chopsticks are
Also,
made of a particular like cedar wood, so they're
yeah.
particularly fragrant, right? So that's one thing that I found so amazing about the JBF. And on the right photo, that's my coffee boyfriend. That's what I call him because I think I've every time I'm at the JBF, I hit him constantly for coffee. And like he said, it's bird friendly coffee because they're very eco conscious. So this coffee is done with like without pesticides, without much damage. Because for a long while, a lotus field somewhere around Japan, I forget where, has been growing controversy because of its methods. Like it has been trapping and accidentally killing a lot of birds. So there's a very bird friendly movement in a lot of their products. So this guy, my coffee boyfriend, he does very good business, and his coffee is really really nice. Bottom left, Ritsuko-san, her husband, Mr. Taniguchi, he's very famous because he's I believe the only Asian to produce artwork featured in the Metropolitan Museum. Was
Yeah.
it or was it the Smithsonian?
Maybe this was
I think the Smithsonian.
Smithsonian.
That's
Yes.
right. Because he's actually a very famous bird illustrator. And if you've seen this man draw, it's like magic. It's like you see him with a pen and then suddenly he brushes it over a paper and then you have the most anatomically correct bird you have ever seen in your life. So a lot of the merch you see, like the framed photos and the bookmarks, those were hand drawn by him. So all their merch is really produced by Mr. Taniguchi, and it's a thing of beauty. It's a thing to see. So really, like these activities, they're my favorite part of the JBF. Okay,
Okay.
sorry, guys. Back to
It's
you.
okay. No, it's okay. Yeah. Please join in anytime. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is what Mikeli was talking about. In 2015, I joined the workshop of Mr. Taniguchi Sensei. And voila, I learned how to draw instantly in 30 minutes. It's, I paint, I draw, but I was so scared of birds because you have to get them anatomically right. Like if you meet a birder, they say, okay, the beak must be crooked, or but he was the one who taught me how to draw it the way it should be. And I'm so happy that it gave me confidence to draw birds. I should have posted. Well, anyway, this is my first drawing of the barn swallow, which he demonstrated. And by the way, his latest book, which he illustrated, and I think he was one of the major contributors was the birds of water birds of Southeast Asia, done in collaboration with the government of South Korea, and it was now widely distributed in Southeast Asia. And one of his first major works, I think, was the water birds of East Asia, which is used in most countries. And before the waterbirds of Southeast Asia came out, it was one of the guidebooks that we were using during the Asian waterbird census. Okay, next slide, please.
Next slide.
Okay, there's a question. Yes, there are booths for travels and tours. They are separated. So one thing with the JBF is that everything is in groups. Like exhibitors from foreign countries are in one group. This is separate totally from like the travels and tours. And then there are over like 200 exhibitors total during the Japan Bird Fair. Japan hold their own space for that, and they are all together. So like we were, when I was there, we were always with the representatives from Hong Kong and India. So we were practically the whole time for 4 days we were together. So this was the post JBF birding that was arranged for us. The fee was very minimal. I think um, they didn't earn anything from that, but we went around. It was freezing cold, but we were able to go birding like in this rice field. A lifer for me was the Japanese wagtail. And, we even had to bird from the back of the van because it was raining very hard. And it was so cold. That was like autumn already. And then the bottom right, as you can see, we didn't give up. We had umbrellas with us, and one thing that fascinated me, like in the middle of the rice field, there was a toilet. You know, it was the Asian type of toilet, but still it was a toilet. Where in parts of Asia can you find that? That was really amazing. When it's cold and like you're from the Philippines, you really have to find a toilet sometimes. To them, maybe they're so hygienic conscious that even in the middle of the rice field, they had a toilet. Now, on the bottom right is in Chaucy Port. There, it was really the close encounter with the gulls. The gulls were literally at your feet. Um, I don't know why, but here it's so hard to find them. I mean, to identify them because they're so far away when you do it in the Philippines. But there in Chelsea Port, they were just like, the van. If you're not careful, you can run over them. And then on the upper right is a place that, I'm sorry, but I forgot most of the places because they tell us so fast. I couldn't take down where it is, but all of these places were in Chiba. So I think one thing to make sure that when you go to Abiko or in Chiba to do all this bird watching, it's guaranteed that you will see a lot of birds. I mean, a lot of these lifers. And when
Mhm.
and I was distracted. Sorry, Mikeli. Um, and when I attended this seminar on seabirds, they said that seabirds are island connectors, and I believe so because, like the black-tailed gull is something that I will never see here in Luzon, in the Philippines. When I do the waterbird survey, because it can only be found in Mindanao. So at least in Japan, I was able to see it. And then there's the Mongolian gull, all these gulls that they are so unfamiliar to me, but they were there. So at least I'm happy I did that already. And then, of course, on the upper right is a place where you can see all the cormorants and the egrets. And I think we got to see practically 90% of the cormorant species in Japan in just one place. So I enjoyed birding in Japan because it was like close to dude birding, which I enjoy very much. I don't like, hiking. I don't like walking too much. But here, they were literally a few meters away from me. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Next slide. Yes.
Okay, so this is what happens um, before and after the festival. On the top left, um, I mean, it was organized by the Abiko City for all the delegates and participants of the JBF. So after I said something, everybody was clapping. I was so amazed. And I know that 90% of them cannot understand English. So how come they were clapping like, it was like a resounding, short of a standing ovation. And he said, it's the interpreter. Okay, so it must be what the interpreter was saying, but I was so happy, everybody was so welcoming. Everybody was so warm. And here, I think below you see Mikeli, we were in our shirts. So the festival was also a way of promoting our bird festivals here. I remember that in 2015, there was like more than 10 was it 10 of them, Mike, that came from Japan, and they participated, they reciprocated our attending also their festival. Now I had to put the picture of the man on the upper right. So the one in the red tie is the mayor of Abiko. And when I came back in 2016, oh, he immediately recognized it. Of course, it was very flattering that, a mayor from Japan can, remember me. But this distinguished looking guy is, I have to post it because it's like totally like a social media event. He is the brother-in-law of then Emperor Akihito. So really the royal family is very much involved in the preservation of birds in Japan. Like there is this lake in where we went to, where we saw the Baikal teal and I think the ferruginous duck. Um, and they were one of the supporters, why it was proclaimed like a protected area. And the Yamashina Institute of Ornithology itself was established by Prince Yamashina. He was from the royalty. So, and there is a story that the wife of this distinguished gentleman, which they failed to tell us the name. So what we know is that he is just the brother-in-law of the emperor. The sister of the emperor wanted to come to the Philippines because they were really in awe of the Philippine eagle, but she was not allowed to come because of some security issue. And of course, you have when you meet the first time, your fellow delegates, it's usually the welcome dinner. So it's really where you get to encounter the local people also. I mean, the organizers, all the representatives of the bird clubs within the area of Chiba. So cheers to that. We made so many friends. And up to now, they're still my Facebook friends. Just because I went to the Japan Bird Fair. But it was so exciting. Like it was the first time that I've met somebody from the royal family. Um, and it was like meeting Queen Elizabeth, because we really met them also in the fairgrounds. He was so interested in our exhibits. Okay, I think this is the last one. This is the last one.
Thank you so much,
Let's
King Guy. Thank you
Let's
so
Yes.
much.
do Hedge.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tinga is our
Yeah,
subject guest
okay.
speaker. Thank you, Tinga.
Oh, you're welcome, Victor, anytime. And to you, everybody, mabuhay and maraming salamat. That's long live everybody, good health, and cheers. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. 可以停止分享了。Okay, now we stop sharing your PowerPoints. Thank you. And Tinga really, came by surprise because suddenly we have a problem playing videos, and then she came. Thank you so much, Tinga. You are
Angel, Victor.
so helpful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm your angel, Victor. If it's only Mike, I wouldn't have done it. Joke, Mike.
Okay, right. So maybe we try later. I guess it's problem of the Ben White. So I don't know. Let's try it later. But I know many of you have been there because Anna, I think Anna's quite exciting. Anna, would you like to share your experience with us? Anna?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I went there. What year was that, Mikeli? I went there twice. There was a year that Tingay couldn't make it. Is that right, Tingay? And so
Yes, because we were like, I think I was traveling every week. There was Bacolod, there was Korea, there was China, there was yeah, I was getting confused where I was already. So Anna, do
Was
me a favor.
Wasn't that 2018?
I think so, yeah.
I think Anna went with Mike also in 2017. And somebody has to be left behind to man the office because it was very close to the Philippine Bird Festival in
That's
I
right.
think the Visayas. So at that time we also had a team from Hong Kong that came, friends that we met over in 2016. So I mean, what I was about to, and I'll just say this, I have to say this, that you bird festivals are, it's where you build bridges.
That's
That's
right.
where you meet your friends, and
Yeah.
that's why I said, festivals are building bridges and forging friends, and it works and it happens, and
I
I'm
think
so happy.
I think 2 years in a row was where I got to see Amorn at the JBF.
That's
A
right.
what?
Yeah.
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 It's where we see
Amorn.
everyone.
Yeah,
But
Amorn, yeah,
yeah.
Amorn.
One thing about the JBF is they aren't very open yet to foreigners,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I think it's only very recently that they really opened to foreigners. And I think the Filipinos were the first that
Yes,
Asuka-san
correct.
opened to. We were like his
Yeah.
trial foreign group, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
of course we're so happy to go in and socialize, have fun. We do our booths. Along with us came many other booths eventually down the road. And so from us, I think there was also Bhutan came along, Hawaii.
Yes, that was in 2016. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Mongolia.
Mongolia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I think
Mongolia.
they're more focused on the foreign tour companies.
Yeah.
More
yeah.
than
Mike,
the
that's a
NGOs.
separate area. I mean,
No,
it's
no
a
thing,
separate
guy.
group.
I mean, I'm referring only to the foreign exhibitors.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Philippines is the only foreign NGO there. Like the Wild Bird Club is the only foreign NGO there. Because the
No
others
naman.
were there
No,
as
no, no,
as
no.
tour companies.
Well,
No,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
Except for the Hawaii Bird Festival.
But there's
Yeah.
an NGO from Taiwan, right?
Yes.
Yes,
And also, the last year I was there, our own Raptor Watch Net, I don't know what their name is.
Yeah, the Raptor Watch Network.
Yeah, the Raptor Watch Network from the Philippines was there as well. Because the last time I was there, I think that it was just the two of us, Chian and myself.
Yeah, Chian. I remember your costumes. They were wonderful.
Right, yeah.
I said, oh my gosh, how can you survive wearing Philippine costumes at what, 10 degrees? I mean,
No, we had thermal underwear.
Yeah, so
So we were able to wear
yeah, you
Can
know,
I
costume.
share us your secret?
our dresses are meant for tropical weather for 36 degrees
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
centigrade and not 10
yeah, what
degrees centigrade.
one thing I also found really nice about the JBF, I think I mentioned it, was that they're really family oriented,
Yeah,
right?
very.
So
Yeah.
a lot of the guests there coming through the booths were families with their kids, high school kids. Some of the performers that were performing throughout the day were from the local high school, and they were fantastic, right? So it's really a very intimate sort of setting. It's a very intimate bird fair, but still, like, there was access to some of the more hardcore, like bird books over there for the merch. You have your optics over there. It's so well set out, and it's such a great experience as an exhibitor, right? Like when you have your booth.
Yes.
The only
Yes.
thing is, yes, um, you know, like we said, a lot of them don't speak English, so they do ask for Japanese materials, which we don't have because we haven't managed to translate them down, right? So, you know, do go. Like, if you have a chance, if you get invited to go, set up a booth at the Japan Bird Fair, do go because it's such a fun affair. And the Japanese take care of you like it's nobody's business.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
it's
gonna
quite
say something
similar.
about the language barrier. Actually, the last time we were there, we had a great translator with us. Actually, two great translators, and what they did for us was to make our signs in Japanese. So after that, we didn't have any problems anymore. And yeah, what I really liked about it was there are a lot of kids who came, and that's why we had to wear our costume because the costume was really a nice way to start a conversation. And even if we didn't understand each other at first, after a while, we get a whole communication thing going on just because of the merchandise, just because of the birds that we showed. They asked us about the Philippines, and we were just happy to tell them about it. So I think the language barrier shouldn't be an obstacle for everyone's participation. Because
Oh,
yeah. And the other thing that I really liked was how legible everything was. As Mikeli and Tingay said, it was all organized so well that you will know where to find everything after a while, even if there were no signs in English. I really loved, well, you know, you, you know me. I really love the area where there's environmental exhibits and about waste, trash. It was really fascinating how segregation is done in
yeah.
in Japan. So I really really like that. The next thing that I like, and Mikeli likes this too, the boots. Don't forget the boots, Mikeli.
Oh yes. Oh
The
yes.
birding boots. They have the
That's
best boots in Asia. I don't know if it's available elsewhere in the world, but they have great water bird boots, boots for water bird watching. And then, of course, and this one, Michele likes this also. It's the grocery.
okay.
It's
Okay.
the
Okay.
Oh
supermarket.
yes, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely
So
I forgot to.
you know that building that thing guy showed first, like there was that little water exhibit, and then there's a big building beside that. Everything is close by, so the fairgrounds are just before that building. Then comes that building. There's a road, and then across the road is the bird museum. So when you go, you don't have to go very far. You can do everything in one day, and you can do everything again and again and again because it's so close by. And so what's nice is that the local people, like to sell their produce in that one building, like Tingay mentioned, but it's set up so pretty. It looks like a souvenir center. And the people are so very proud of this one particular area where everything is by Lake Teganuma. Because Lake Teganuma, for how many years ago, held the award of being the dirtiest lake, like in Japan. It was just so dirty, it was polluted. And they find it now so special because, like, through efforts to conserve it, to fix it, it is now like a clean lake. Its life has come back, which is why they now have birding, they now have everything. And their mascot for the area is a little old man that is an eel, right? So he's an eelhead and he walks around. So he's unakichi. That's their point of pride, that they managed to sort of salvage that lake and turn it into this whole bird watching, nature site. So it's cool. Like, go to the bird fest. I can't like emphasize it more. Like, I want all of you to go. All the good things in the world happen. We all go to Japan.
Yeah. Can I invite Hiroko? Hiroko, have you been there?
Hello, Victor. Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Hiroko Okamoto from Wild Bird Society of Japan. Wild Bird Society of Japan participated Japan Bird Festival every year. It is one of the largest bird watching fair in Japan. And the site of bird watching fair in Lake Teganuma is very close to my house, just half an hour by bicycle. So easy access from my house. And
By bicycle?
By bicycle from my house.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it is the best season for birding in the beginning of November. Actually, and the first week of November is bird watching week in Japan. We can enjoy winter visitors such as many duck species. So everyone can enjoy to see a water bird around Lake Teganuma. Okay.
Yeah, I had
Thank you
like
so much. Yes. Yeah.
30 species.
Mikeli, are you seeing something? Or so I heard
There's a
Anna.
question on how to apply. Mike, maybe you can answer
Wait,
because
wait. Before that, as a ABF execom, I've attended a lot of the bird festivals in Asia, and I can say this is probably the biggest bird fair in Asia. I mean, bigger than Taipei. Like, I'm very impressed with Taipei, but they have so many exhibitors, like I said, optics, NGOs, many things, and they sell many products. Mikeli was like always overwhelmed with the choice of products they have, not just in relation to birding, but all those even mobile phone cases with bird paintings and everything, cards and everything, but not just limited to birding, but they also promote a lot of their local products. So you have and different chapters of bird watching clubs throughout Japan. The only thing right for me is it's really geared towards the Japanese market. So there's a lot we can learn from them, and probably they can learn from us too. So in terms of applying, I don't know if they're open to people participating, because I think they have a limited number of volunteers for the foreign delegation. There's like I think the maximum is only 10 organizations per year. Is that right, Mikeli? More or less 8 to 10.
Yeah, it sounds
foreign
like it,
organizations only. So I think they're more welcoming of the tour company, so that the Japanese bird watchers can go out to different parts of the world for bird watching. Yeah.
And we have Amorn from Thailand. Amorn, I know you've been there.
Yeah.
Would you like to share your experience with us?
Amorn?
Amorn, you're muted. Amorn.
We want to hear you, Amorn.
You're muted.
Amorn, you're old and you cannot find where to click. Amorn. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, there.
Can you hear?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, the Japan Bird Fair is my dream destination, because I heard from many people the best bird fair in Asia is in Japan. So I wait and try to have chance to join the Japan Bird Fair for around 4 or 5 years. Then I know Asuka-san and thank for Asuka-san. Thank you for him because I asked him how can I join, how can we Bird Conservation Society of Thailand can join the Japanese Bird Fair. So Asuka-san try to contact with the Abiko City who host this event. And then that is the first time for me to make a dream destination come true. So when I go there, I went there, I'm very impressed. And everything like this is a mobile case, the painting, the Pelican Falcon, I bought from this Japanese Japan Bird Fair also. So everything is very in my memory. I'm very impressed and hope one day in the future I can join again. Thank you Abiko City and thank you for Asuka-san to invite Thailand to join Japan Bird Fair. Thank you.
Thank you, Amorn. Thank you so much.
We can ask Hiroko, did the Japan Bird Fair continue even during COVID? Or did it stop for 2 years?
Yeah, Hiroko, please.
Hiroko,
I think they don't do a face-to-face event, but do some online event last year. And
how about this year? Do they have plans to continue it this year?
Yeah, I saw the website. Yes, they're going to have a
5th November and 6th November.
this year. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The bird fairs, they're easy to remember because they're always the first weekend in November.
Yeah.
And so like Amorn says, like he loves his phone case and everything. Same thing. I love shopping there. And literally you can walk in without anything. And then when you walk out of the bird fair, you already have your optics, you have pants, you have a shirt, you have boots, you have a hat. You're full, right? This is one of my favorite purchases. It's a coin purse, but it's also a common kingfisher and it has its feet. So it's a small thing, but it's like one of my favorite things. You know, it's like, oh, it reminds me of the Japan Bird Fest and it's so cute. So, you know.
Yeah, I can leave their email here. If you want to apply, you know, this year or year after, maybe you can use it. That's JBF at what? Yes, City.
There's the
Abiko.
link. Yeah.
Chiba. .jp. You check it right. Yes. City.
Hiroko has posted the website. Yeah.
Oh yeah, website. And I posted the email address. You want to go back there?
Okay. Victor, let's have a group picture.
Well, sorry,
Yes,
I
please.
put a URL, but it's on 2020, so I will look for latest information and post it again. So please wait a while.
Thank you.
Yes, let's take a group photo. Thanks for reminding, Mike. Guys, please turn on your camera. And we have so many friends today. We have Gombo.
Wow.
We haven't seen you for a long time.
Yeah.
Gombo.
Sorry.
And
Yeah, Dr. Gumbo, remember our dinner?
Of course I
Javier,
remember.
please.
Our last day.
Kuahara-san.
Thanks for introduction, Christine. Very good.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
And Kuahara-san. Hello. Okay, very good. Very good. Let's take the first group photo. Yes, look at the camera.
All right.
Smile, don't move. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on. Who wants to go to JBF?
Me.
Want to
I'm not
go?
traveling, but I'm not traveling till 2025, maybe.
What?
What?
You know, if you look at the history of the Spanish flu, it was like 10 years. Right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
Huh?
Well,
Okay.
they said
thank you,
that the
guys.
airplane is the safest place to be, with all these filters and everything. But you know, like Taiwan, we haven't heard from Taiwan for a long time, and now it's 70,000 cases. So, I mean,
But you know, if we take the bird tours on the bikes, like we can do the biking bird tour that Victor mentioned, that's very safe. It's outdoor.
yeah, but you know, when you get to the airport, you don't only meet like the Taiwan people, you meet all sorts of people. And if somebody comes from Spain and then they don't do the counts anymore, that's okay.
Alice.
That's why you get vaccinated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm suffering through my side effects because
Oh,
I want to
Anna-
be able to travel.
Oh,
I just had
wow.
myself boosted.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
boosted already also.
I'm boosted already, but I don't want to face the side effects because the side effects of my last booster, I didn't stop eating. Like,
Oh
Last
yeah, they said yeah, it's
Oh,
one
really?
of the, and it's usually Sinovac.
yeah.
Oh, you're
Well,
the
anyway.
Sinovac, yeah.
Anyway, nothing happened with us.
Oh,
Well,
What?
yeah. In Mongolis, we opened up the state border for tourists, and we
Mhm.
don't use the masks right now.
Oh no.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Everything is almost normal. The situation now.
What?
Well,
That's
we
good to
don't
know.
know what happened in 6 months or 3 months. But right now we are quite okay. Anyway,
See? Everything is fine in Mongolia.
seems to me.
So
Yeah.
we'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't use the mask at all.
Excellent.
We'll be fine
So far.
very soon.
So
Right?
far, we know. We do. Well, I've been working with the Yamashina Institute for Ornithology 22 years.
Mhm.
Oh,
Because the colleagues from the Yamashina Institute for Ornithology, they visited Mongolia a couple of times for the crane tracking, satellite
Oh.
tracking, and I visited a couple of times. I think 3 times in different sites of the ringing station managed by the Yamashina Institute for Ornithology. But unfortunately, I never been to the fair. I like to go. There one day. I don't know when. Someone said 2025, but I don't think it's 2025.
No.
They will. They will.
22.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
We'll be fine. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Like you'll be
Don't
fine.
worry. I'm not
The
worried.
pandemic will be gone very soon. I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway.
So this is only on the high level, and very soon it'll be gone. So don't worry. Yeah. So let's meet
I'm not
in
worried.
wherever in Japan, in Taiwan, Mongolia, or Korea. So we look forward to seeing everyone. So thank you guys
Okay.
for
Thank you.
joining us every Friday. Thank you, King Guy.
oh,
For the,
thank
for
you
the help. You know,
also.
you've done a great job. Thank you so much. And I thank
Thank you. Nice
Anna.
seeing you all.
Anna, Mikeli, Amorn, everybody for sharing their experiences with us. It's really wonderful to have you with us every Friday. And next week,
So what do we have for next week?
we're going to Europe.
Oh,
Where?
Yeah, we're going to Slovenia. Where is Slovenia? That's right. So next week, Paul Viviet will tell us about the biodiversity, the ecotourism in Slovenia. So we look forward to listening to Paul's presentation. I know Paul is ready, and we'll see him next week, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Happy
you.
New
Thank you.
Year.
Bye.
Nice weekend.
I'm good.
Thank you, everyone.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Question.